Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bold Analysis. There is a meme I like seeing after football when a team loses. Nasikia wanasema amkeni, wamefungwa, amkeni, wanatumaliza. I normally like that meme because it's arousing, it's arousing people from their comfort zone. Allow me say amkeni, amkeni. Mambo haiko sawa. There is something that is not right. We may not talk about it, we may not have a remedy, but this is not right. Let me talk about this. You know, in Africa and in Kenya, I acknowledge the statement and the position of our former president that we needed to work more of an infrastructure because we are at the takeoff stage. And in alignment with the vision 2063, the African vision of 2063, Kenya is one of is a hub. Kenya harbors those SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, conforming with the African goal of 2063. I am just giving that in the context to help you see how that we are also at par with the rest of the world. We have development, and I have always spoken that when in our politics we try to do a lot of optics, whether they have returns to the people, but there are a lot of optics because that's what you can use to convince voters. In this country, I have spoken about something in the past known as PPP, public-private partnerships. Public-private partnerships is a model where government enters into a deal with an individual, an organization, or a company somewhere to do a project in the country on a shareable agreement where someone offers land or someone offers this resource and the other person offers finance or vice versa. Then something is done, but it will have a model on how the person who financed it is going to scoop back his money. And let me tell you, if we don't negotiate well, then we will end up auctioning our resources in this country. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. We have this model where we get people to do us projects, they charge us for the services, and for them to recoup their money. I want to use these three examples. The SGR was a good project. In that agreement, the Chinese guys are supposed to collect the money. We are supposed to collect money and give it to them, repay that loan through the services from it. And after some time when we finish paying that loan, maybe we'll remain with the SGR. That may not serve a bit of it. Now, I want you to feel the pinch of this. Grand High Falls Dam is a 500 billion project funded from UK. That dam is going to help us because our problem as a country is to have water so that we can boost our irrigating farmlands and even household consumption. But in that deal, when they finish building the dam, they will be selling that water at a tariff. Tariff ni price too, but now the rate. So that when they sell, they also recoup their 500 billion from that. And during public participation, the ministry was apprised of this, that we run the risk of getting this project, it's done, but in long run, we're going to sell water for long. Number one, the dam will belong to them. Number two, we may end up selling water to the irrigation farm for irrigation farming even at a higher rate, which in long run may not even help us address the economic question. So tunaweza uziwa maji na hii maji ikuja hapo watengeneze, na tukiuziwa tuziwe kwa bei ya juu kwa sababu ni wao walitengeneza. That's what I'm talking about. The other one, Galana Kulanu project. It's a PPP. Government is only giving land, there are investors coming in. These investors are supposed to build, to do farming there. Watasitumia resources zao, alafu watuuzie mahindi. You know, what's happening here is people are just pumping money for this resource. The question, and one thing that I hear is, there is exorbitant fees, levies, and tariffs in these projects. Even the Mau Summit, it's a 26-year project. They will own the road. The French government, the French investors are going to own the road for 26 years. As Jared, you can go and Google how many years. And now these are the ones I only know. And also there are going to be tariffs, just the same as that of expressway. We are getting development, yes, infrastructure, but does it help the people? And that's why I call this, it's a bit of a disaster we are getting into. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our videos. Also, thank you for those who have been sharing. What is the danger in this? The danger in this is the imbalance in foreign exchange. You know, if people are going to invest here, it's good they invest, because when they're investing, they're employing our skilled labor with them. But that money we are collecting, for example, SGR, or from the road, or from the water dam, or even the Green City Nairobi, we are taking a chunk of that revenue, which is consumed here because we are the consumers, consumed here to their country, back to their country. Okay? So it's good they're investing, we're getting jobs, but we also run the risk of them selling at a higher price, because again, things are changing. They hold it for long, it's theirs. Government only take credits of photos and doing, you know, when they go there with journalists, but the whole thing is funded by government XYZ, and it goes back. So we run the risk of imbalance, foreign exchange imbalance, because March 26 year to come, when they are collecting money from Mau Road, they are collecting money from the dam, they are collecting money from what? They are collecting money from that city. That money is going back because we are paying. And that also points out too, we've been talking about the death trap. Our debts are ballooning. We still pay SGR to date. So while we also borrow, we can also borrow money to do it. There is no difference with the PPP. I have seen this administration, our president, saying that I am not going to borrow loans, but I will do projects through PPP. For example, I'll build 100 dams through PPP. Whether it's foreign investor or here, that money has to be repaid. No one can give you 500 billion to construct the dam and you don't repay it back. He must have an interest. No one can come to do 233 kilometer road, Mau Summit Road, without paying back that money. Like that was 160 billion. So that's what I'm talking about. It has been packaged as if PPP are not also forms of loans. According to me, looking at the PPP model, those are also soft loans. The only advantage is that they are flexible in terms of how they're being negotiated. They're not money you are giving so that you pay back the money. But there are also some soft loans that we are taking from investors, not from individual countries, which now from investors, it's easy, you can always negotiate. The other thing here is we are a consumer nation. So as much as we talk about production, those who are producing, We are just consuming services. When we talk about products so much, we want to produce products or do value addition. But if we can't invest our own, and even investors here cannot invest, so that even government invests, there's nothing that stops government from making a huge investment in an area. And after that investment, this money that these guys are seeing, because for them they're seeing potential of collecting that money, they want to collect it for 26 years. Imagine if government spends taxpayers' money to build, to do such a project, then you collect the levies, the tariff goes to government. It's easier, you can control. When there is COVID and you think watu wanaumia, you can wait kidogo. When there is a problem, you can always find a way. But look at here, whether there is COVID, there is no COVID, we have a disaster, we have a problem, we'll have to repay. China cannot, so we cannot start telling China that we just came from election the other day. Oh, state capture with Uhuru Kenyatta. Oh, economy is bad. We can't. So that cycle may never, we may never come out of that cycle. Then the challenge here is the foreign nation seems to capture. It is good, but I think we should have some level of limit. We have people doing damn somewhere. We have a lot of people that are pumping billions into their projects here from different countries, and they seem to be at their masses. Because they're doing that, our export-import policy has to be favorable to some few individuals. And some of them, even then interfere with our democracy because they want status quo. It's a possibility. If we've been talking about Europe interfered, it's because they wanted a change, because they believed Raila was pro-Uhuru, and maybe they would have gone pro-East. So to some extent, this is a danger. PPP is good, but it must be. According to me, the way that model works, it's not. PPP is just public-private partnership. What is between those two P's are loan. It's a loan that will be repaid unless hakuna mtu anafanya bure. Just like even some contractors are normally get tenders from government, they are told use your money, make it, ushaitengeneza government ikulipe. It takes time, and that's why we have pending bills. Those pending bills, these contractors also PPP. It's also private because government doesn't have his own contractors that watengeneza barabara. Gives to people or companies, they construct, then they are paid from taxpayers' money. So that's my take, guys, and that's why I see that as a disaster and a danger.